your next adventure. Welcome to our shop today. We're going to do a walk around of a 2005 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. I call this the unicorn because they only made the Unlimited Jeep the Unlimited two-door from 2005 to 2006. This was kind of the precursor to the four-door Unlimited model that came out in 2007. This Jeep still has the 4-liter from the TJ in it. It's very much like a TJ. In fact, almost everything you order for this Jeep is for a TJ. Will fit on a TJ as well. This is, because it's a Rubicon, it's even more limited. So they only made the Unlimited two-door for 2 years, and it's a Rubicon. So I love this Jeep. This is one of my favorite Jeeps that Jeep ever manufactured. This Jeep came into us, please disregard the winch cable. The owner wants to keep it this way. I would have liked to have replaced this winch or rebuilt this winch and swapped them over to synthetic cable. I hate steel cable, but he wanted to keep it like this. It does not run. But this Jeep came in, it had several ride issues. The tires were in really bad shape. They had been dry rotted. They were worn in an uneven pattern, which probably created the initial issue of death wobble, which this Jeep had. Jeep had death wobble due to worn bushings in the control arms at high speed. Well, that affected the high speed and created what we call high-speed death wobble. Control arm bushings gave the front axle the ability to shift back and forth. We did put new steering ends on this Jeep as well. So we've got new tie rod and drag link ends. We also, the last thing that we did, we've heard people put a steering dampener on the Jeep to get rid of death wobble. That is not the solution. So this Jeep, we left the stock dampener, which had obviously failed and wasn't absorbing anything. We left it on until the very last item so that we could determine that we had gotten rid of the death wobble 100% before we put on anything that would dampen. This is just a band-aid. It does give you a better ride on road. It'll keep the tires from reacting, the steering from reacting too hard to a bump, etc. But it'll also mask death wobble sometimes, and we don't want to mask death wobble. We want to find the proper solution to get rid of it, and then we'll put the steering damper on. So that's a TerraFlex 9550 steering damper. The low-speed death wobble on this, whoever installed the track bar did not put any Loctite on the bolts for the upper track bar bracket. This is a track bar drop bracket. So what we did was we ended up welding that track bar bracket to the frame and then put Loctite on the bolts, tighten it back down. That got rid of the low-speed death wobble. They probably came loose initially from the tires or unbalanced tire. The control arms fixed the high-speed death wobble. In addition, it had sway bar disconnects that had no bushings in them, so we put on our favorite TerraFlex sway bar disconnects. Again, these have the ability to slide off the pins, and there's a stowaway pin here that's mounted in the frame. These sway bar disconnects will mount to the frame, keeps the sway bar up out of the way. It already had a set of 2-inch springs on it, and it had 3.5-inch shocks, and the shocks were not a very good ride. They were a hydro shock. Came with the Rancho lift kit that was on it originally. So we put a set of Bilstein 5100 series that's made for this lift for just a 2-inch lift kit, 0 to 2-inch. These are TerraFlex control arms. We put 8 control arms on. These have a Heim style joint on one end and a urethane joint on the other end. Urethane joint absorbs a lot of the road impact, so this Jeep rides so great now. We did align it, and this Jeep is ready for the road. So did a road test yesterday, 80 miles an hour, and it rides beautifully. So TerraFlex control arms are our brand of choice for a vehicle that's going to be mostly driven on the road because of the urethane bushings on one end. Actually on a JK, you'll have urethane bushings at both ends. So when a customer comes in, we're going to ask them questions and find out what their typical use is, what their intended use is. We really want to know whether they're going to be on-road a lot, off-road primarily, or whether it's going to be a pretty good combination, and that'll help us to determine what type of control arms we put on, as well as what type of shocks we put on. You know, different companies make better products for each category.